Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brothers in the Zawi and our brothers and sisters online for our blessed weekly gathering of Ascension and MURAQBA. Alhamdulillah, most of you are familiar with the methodology, so we don't have to actually go through the process as such. But inshallah, our honorable Ustad will actually guide you to a certain point of the MURAQBA. The main thing is really, first and foremost, obviously myself, we should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He's actually allowed us to be a part of this blessed gathering. As you see, there's many brothers and sisters who have actually been blessed with this gift of Ascension. But really, how many of us actually try to benefit from attending the gathering? So this is a fadl of Allah that He's actually allowed us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us grateful so we can become those who regularly get blessed with such this great blessing. And another thing is obviously sometimes, especially here in the Zawiya, physically we see maybe some brothers who we meet regularly during the week, and maybe we've noticed they've not been attending for weeks or something. And one kind of during the week, inshallah, just kindly remind them, give them a call, visit them. Because sometimes just the call itself, or just a reminder, it prompts a person to attend. And it's only because we want them to benefit as well, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, without any further ado, the main important thing actually is that obviously we go through the MURAQBA, we do the actual practical, and then the point where it's actually a very crucial point where we actually should be giving our feedback, whether we experience something, whether we want to share any nasiyah, any message given by any blessed personality during the MURAQBA, or whether we're seeing nothing and everything. If you're seeing nothing and everything is done, then you should be the first person to push your hands up. So our honorable stars can actually then try to help and assist and see where any problem might be. So really we shouldn't actually try to be begging people to raise their hands. It should actually be something from yourselves that you should mention whatever level of experience you experience, and try to share so you can actually benefit yourselves and others by sharing. So without further ado, I request Marcus to lead the presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Inshallah, if you like to now just gather your thoughts and rectify intention and be in the presence of Allah, something that Allah is seeing us, hearing us, He is with us with all His sifat and quality in a manner that suits His Majesty. Inshallah, we'll begin by reciting the protection armals, which is 110 Surah Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi once, and 3 calls Qul Huwallahu, Qul A'udhu Falaq, and Qul A'udhu Rabbin Nas, 3 times in that order, and then we're going to blow in the palm of our hand and spread that all over our body. Thereafter we shall get in the 3 states, mindsets of humbleness, of tawazu, of shukr, thankfulness, and tawakkul, reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thereafter we shall do the beginning amals. Then inshallah we'll start with the cleansing of the lataif, which is done 3 stages: initially preparation, and then cleansing and purifying, energizing the lataif, and then transfer. Once you transfer, whichever methodology you've learned to transfer and connect with our teacher, up to that point you'll be guided. After that, then you will be left to your own journey, traversing with Sayyidina Ahmad al-Bagh to wherever they wish to take you, whatever they deem is best, be it in Fez Sharif, be it in Baghdad Sharif, be it in Medina Sharif, with the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whatever is deemed best. But more importantly is that there's another weekly gathering. Throughout the week, whatever weaknesses, whatever difficulties you've had throughout the week or in your journey, then it's important to seek guidance and advice how you can actually take the next step on your journey. What is the next step? What you should do so that your journey doesn't actually stagnate, your journey doesn't stop, rather your journey continues. So that is one of the things that you can ask, inshallah. Inshallah. So now if you just all divert your minds towards Allah subhanahu in His presence, inshallah. We'll recite the beginning amals. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله الصمد Inshallah, is bringing the three states of heart and mind, that of humbleness, tawazu, that think that yourself to be of the lowest of the lows, that the person next to me is so much better in our mouths and deeds and conduct, and I myself is full of flaws, so much weaknesses I possess. The worst thing is that I don't even, whatever ability Allah has given me, I'm not even utilizing that ability to the best of my advantage. Bringing this state of thankfulness that despite all of these weaknesses, despite all of these shortcomings, we have such a Rabb, we have such a Lord who is always forgiving, is so merciful, so kind, and it is He who showers His grace and mercy upon us by His fadl. He does not differentiate between the color, between age, between any of us, except the fact that if we're sincere and if we truly sincerely turn towards Him and try to please Him to the best of our ability. Bringing the thought of tawakkul, reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that many people know and think and believe that they are sinful, they are so bad that they cannot connect, they cannot travel, they cannot see. And there are some people think that Alhamdulillah, I am pious, I am righteous, I am praying my prayers, I am doing my dhikr, I am doing my MURAQBA, I am good. Both the circumstances, we don't rely on our abilities or our inabilities, we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His power and His fadl and grace. Fadl has no limit, no differentiation, no equation that we can use. Is up to Him and upon His favors alone. So it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power that through His fadl and grace and mercy that we will travel, spiritually connect, meet with our beloved teacher, and connect and meet with any other personalities. It is through His power alone that we rely on. Now just repeat after me. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Astaghfirullah. 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 الذي لا إله إلا هو الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه وأتوب إليه اللهم يا ربي بجاه نور وجهك الكريم بجاه نور وجهك الكريم وبفضلك العظيم وبفضلك العظيم اجمع بيننا وبينك في الدنيا قبل الآخرة في الدنيا قبل الآخرة اللهم يا ربي اللهم يا ربي بجاه سيدنا محمد ابن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم اجمع بيننا وبين سيدنا محمد ابن عبد الله في الدنيا قبل الآخرة اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين في كل لمحة نفس عدد ما وسعه علم الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا مقصود إلا الله لا محبوب إلا الله لا مطلوب إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم 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 وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. MashaAllah. Now, inshallah Aziz, again bring in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the power of imagination. Imagine the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beautifully lit high above in the sky, white in color. This beautiful white light is descending down, coming down from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as you take a deep breath into the nose, the light will enter the head and spread all over to your chest, to your legs, to your arms, and all over your body, to all of your cells. And as you take a deep breath out of the mouth, then all worries, your darkness, anxieties, problems, your sins will be exiting from the mouth. So deep breath in, the light will enter, white light will enter through the head, filling yourself up, cleansing you. And as you take a deep breath out, all your problems, your anxieties, your stress, the sins is exiting from the mouth. Do that for a short while, keep in the presence and deep breaths, inshallah. Now think that the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beautifully red in color, beautifully lit in the sky with the red color. And this beautiful light, red light is coming down from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you take a deep breath in, the light is entering through the nose, going all the way down to the red latifa, which is based below the belly button. And as you take a breath out, it's energizing, activating, cleansing latifa and exiting from the back. So the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is red, is going to the red latifa, which is below the belly button. Now, keep in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, He sees me, He's hearing me. The name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is orange in color, illuminating the sky with orange light. And this beautiful orange light is coming down from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as you take a deep breath in, it's entering through the nose and goes all the way down to the orange latifa, which is all the way down to your belly button area. And as you take a deep breath out, is energizing, cleansing, activating the latifa, orange latifa, and exiting from the back. So deep breath in, the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is orange, entering the nose, going all the way down to the orange latifa, which is in your belly button area. And deep breath out is exiting from the back. Now, by our imagination, imagine the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is yellow in color, and this beautiful yellow light is coming down from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you take a deep breath in, the light enters to the nose, goes all the way down to the yellow latifa, which is in your stomach area. It's going to energize the latifa, activate it, cleanse it, and as you take a deep breath out, it will exit from the back. The name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is yellow in color, go into the yellow latifa, which is in your stomach area. keep in mind the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is with me, is seeing me, is hearing me. Imagine the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is green in color, and this beautiful green light is radiating down from the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. As you take a deep breath into the nose, it enters through the nose and goes all the way down to the green latifa, which is in your chest area. It's going to energize it, cleanse it, activate it. And as you take a deep breath out, it exits from the back of the chest. And the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is green color, going to the green latifa, which is in your chest area. Now, think that the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is light blue in color. This light blue light is going down from the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. As you take a deep breath in through the nose, the light will enter through the nose, goes all the way down to the light blue latifa, which is in your throat area. As you take a deep breath out, it will activate, energize the latifa, cleanse it, and exit from the back of the neck. So the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is light blue color. It will go to the light blue latifa, which is in your throat area. Now, keeping the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, He's seeing me, He's hearing me. The name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dark blue in color, indigo color. And this beautiful light is radiating down from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as you take a deep breath in through the nose, imagine this light is now going direct to the latifa, which is on your forehead area. And it's going to energize it, cleanse it, activate it. As you take a deep breath out, it will exit from the back of the head. So the neural circle is dark blue. It will hit the dark blue indigo color latifa, which is in your forehead. Now imagine the nail of Santala is white in color. This beautiful white light is coming down the nail of Santala. As you take a deep breath into the nose, it will go direct to the white latifa, which is above the head. It will activate it, energize it, cleanse it, and then take a deep breath out, it will exit from the back of the latifa. So the nail of Santala is white in color. It will go all the way down to the white latifa, which is above the head. Okay, and keeping the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, keep that refreshed. Imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is white in color. This time the nail of subhanahu wa ta'ala will be coming down. As you take a deep breath into the nose, the light will enter you from the head again, filling you all the way up to your feet with the light. It will enlighten the lataif even further. As you take a breath out, it will keep on enlightening you. So as you keep on breathing in and out, the whole body is being filled with light. And inshallah, Aziz, do this for a short while. Eventually, you'll feel that the body will be expanding more and more. And then inshallah, we'll be getting ready for the process of transfer. So imagine this nail is white in color. Take deep breath in, and the light is going, the white light is going down, filling you from head to the toe. Take deep breaths. Our bodies are getting bigger and bigger, expanding like a balloon. Slowly our limbs will start disappearing. Keep on breathing. Keep that presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the lataif has been further cleansed and further refined and enlightened. Slowly now your feet are slowly starting to disappear. Legs, all the way to your abdomen disappearing now. Your chest, your arms are now slowly disappearing. Now your whole body is disappeared. That leaves you with the lataif, the breathing and the spirit. Keep on breathing, and one by one the lataif will now slowly start to disappear. Keep on breathing. The red has disappeared. Orange disappeared. The yellow has disappeared. Green has disappeared now. Light blue, dark blue, the white, all the lataif have now disappeared, the colors have disappeared. Now that leaves you with just your spirit and your breath. So make now your spiritual body in front of you, the mirror image of you. Formulate that. And then once you're ready, take the golden breath and blow your spirit into the spiritual body and transfer and meet the teacher. Find the teacher, meet the teacher. Once you found them, give them your salam, and then I'll leave you to it in your journey, inshallah. So now keep on breathing. Once we transfer, then I'll leave you to it, inshallah. Take deep breaths in and out. Once you're ready, take the golden breath and blow your spirit in your spiritual body. Now find the teacher, however you find them. Going through the stairs, up the stairs in Bolton Zawiya. Waiting outside the door. The light is illuminating out the door. Open the door. You'll find the teachers out there. Give your salam to them. And now I'll leave you to yourself, inshallah, for 10-15 minutes so. You go on your own personal journey, inshallah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. 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 Assalamu alayk. Assalamu alayk. Assalamu alayk. Ya Shafi'al Mudhnibin. Ya Shafi'al Mudhnibin. Ya Shafi'al Mudhnibin. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Now inshallah Aziz, if you can slowly take permission and leave, and slowly give your last nasiyah and salam, and then bring yourself back to your consciousness in your body, inshallah. Once you've done that, those of you gather your thoughts, especially in Zoom participants, just gather your thoughts, and then inshallah Aziz, type your, if you want to give feedback, you can raise your hands and the brothers will select you on Zoom, and also physically, if you want to relate, then you can do so as well.
As was mentioned by Imam Case, that those who want to relay their feedback from the session, then please raise your hands. It's a bit encouraged time and time again that we are to give the feedback from the session. As the example of the teaching session is given, that the teacher gives the lesson on the summer, and now it's time for the students to relay their understanding or relay or in this setting relay their experience, and to get feedback from the teacher or the staff. So those who want to give the feedback from the session, or those who are online, I would like to give feedback. Please raise your hands. You can unmute yourselves, and if you feel comfortable with typing up, you can also do that. Brother Jamil, please mention that, inshallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So once I transferred, it took me a while to find the teacher. I saw myself on a busy street. Shortly after that, I enter into the Zawiya in Bolton, and I see our blessed teacher, and they sat with other beings, but the beings are full of light. This was on both sides of our blessed teacher. As I walk closer to them, this light I saw, the light, it gets brighter and stronger. At this point, I didn't know whether to speak or remain silent, so I stayed silent. When our blessed teacher looked up, they smiled, I immediately then gave my salam, and then upon completion I sat down within the semicircle. They were reciting, I think what appeared to be reciting Surah Al-Fatiha. And after the recitation, they stood up and they gave me a gesture to come with them. So it was like these beams of light, which were on both sides. It's like they took us inside them, and we were traveling with them, so to speak. At this point, I felt like a sudden rush inside me, because it was as though we were speeding up. But I kept my focus on Hazrat Sahib. Shortly, we arrived at what appeared to be like a bridge. This bridge looked very thin. Our blessed teacher was in front of me, and while we walked on this bridge, they gave me their blessed hand to hold. So as we was walking, I looked down, and when I looked down, I see like darkness below, and like some lightning images, and an image what I can best describe as like it was like a rundown city, like a broken city. It was like a city that's been hit with an earthquake. And I immediately looked back towards Hazrat Sahib, and in front there was light and like a building of some sort. So at this point, it now felt like we was walking faster and faster, and then until this light took us just straight across. And then my eyes then gazed upon this building. I can't describe it. It was this beautiful building. It was full of colour, shining like diamonds. And so then we sit outside, and the area that I sat on was very comfortable. And then our blessed teacher then says to the nearest meaning that one should make good intention to do a good deed, and one should keep that intention and focus on carrying that deed out. So this should be the mindset of a person. So one shouldn't wake up and think that one is not feeling good, or one has a headache, or is just merely tired. This mindset will prevent such a person from having good intention and doing good deeds. So it says like it's a special time in place at night. So one should make good intention of participating and not relying on their own feelings, because if one does this, they may not want to attend. So now I ponder over this for some time, and then shortly I take this opportunity to ask our blessed teacher what this building is. So they smiled and they said to the nearest meaning that this is not a building, but then they didn't mention anything else. This light then transferred us back to the Zawiya, and upon hearing the news, I seek permission to return. And upon permission, I gave my salam and returned. Jazakallah khair.
MashaAllah, Brother Jamil, MashaAllah. Thank you for relating your experience. MashaAllah, you're always forthright and always wanting to share your experience. It's a pity others are not taking example on your leaf as well. So people benefit who actually raise hands and actually say the sabak, and those people who don't, unfortunately, maybe they're doing the sabki wrong, and then they will never rectify really, and they'll think why is happening, what is happening. So always, even if you're good and you're experiencing good or well, and if you're not experiencing, you should also try and relate, so we can actually try and actually see if there's any issues that we can actually resolve, either collectively or privately, or however it can be. What you yourself relate, mashallah, the advice and the nasihah that was given by the beloved teacher is more or less self-explanatory. The journey that you saw yourself is a lot of people, they take this journey, and one should see, like Sayyidina Abdullah Zubar said, is when you are actually with the Mashayikh of Tareeqah Muhammadiyah, especially our teacher, Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh, and the path that you're traveling on. Really, this is a very, very high spiritual elevator, very high ranking, high path that the elite of the elites actually travel. So if you look down, yes, it's a big fall as well. You will actually see destruction, while it destroyed people, amals and deeds are being destroyed. That's everything underneath, because if you, like you mentioned about having a good mindset, good thought, this is how you make sure that having a good mindset, good thought, good mindset, good intention, that's through the light of that good intention and through the fairs of the Shaykh, a person can actually traverse this path and get into the building. Now the building you're seeing, the sun is not a building. The indication we're getting here is that it seems that this is when a person, there's the bridge, is the path of purification that you're going through, and then when a person is enlightened, it's a reflection of the house of taqwa, you could say, when a person has developed that connection and love and intimacy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person does the tazkiyah, this is where it's a reflection, it's what you're seeing, an analogy you're seeing, a person's own place in which it contain intimacy and connection with Allah, the intimacy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and being in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that particular place. When a person is actually purified, this is his own person in his own heart and his own spirit will experience this. So it's just yes, it's not a building as such, it's actually an analogy that a person purifies and carries on the journey with holds onto the hands of the Shaykh, or listen to the instruction, and through the fairs and their light you will actually achieve purification, tazkiyah, and that is basically an indication of what it will look like in terms of when a person purifies. This beautified building is reflecting a person's tazkiyah. When it's done, that is where he'll actually experience intimacy and love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once a person is purified, inshallah. So that's the real beginning, starts there really. Tazkiyah is like the start, and what we think is the end, and it's not really, that's the start. And then when you cleanse yourself and rid of all these illnesses and diseases, the real tasting and the real living starts then, when the intimacy between the servant and the Creator starts, and His beloved with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inshallah. So may Allah bless you and keep us all steadfast, and you also pray for us, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan jaza. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I'm from Bolton. So as soon as the lives started, it was all in darkness.
What? That's okay.
It was involved in your darkness, and then I instantly thought about the teacher, and then it was like my whole sort of involved in your life again. And then what happened was, as Sabia mentioned, that we've taken you to the feet of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ will take you further now. We've done on the road, and if they go that instantly from there, it was like a path where when the Prophet ﷺ was on my right and Hassan was on my left, and we was going through this meandering path. When there was obstacles there, some obstacles that Hassan removed, and some obstacles that the Prophet removed. And we got to a certain point, and then Hassan then started to take a couple of steps back. And initially I was a bit sort of apprehensive, and I was a little bit sort of scared and stuff. And after I see myself, I was around about 20, sort of 30 in the spiritual road at that point. And what happened was, from there, then we started to sort of move forward. And as though the Prophet mentioned some points of guidance, that said that wherever you are, you can think of me, whether that be a thought or imagination or whatever, and I'll be there and ask the questions to do one normal, and then also pray through the process of Yakoba and Allahumma Ya Rabbi Bijal 3 times, just to build the love and the connection. And then from there is if the door I could see I could see the dunya in the palm of Prophet hands getting smaller and smaller, always enlarging, and I could see the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala getting larger and light, and the light filling up the whole atmosphere. And there was also certain your books and things, and then all my cells became with the name of the Prophet Muhammadiyah. Then from there we just sort of we just like we was in sort of in Medina Sharif, and then it was so that the names of myself then sort of turned to the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you're reflecting the light, and then as soon as it was sort of a transfer, the light from the heavens hit Sidratul Muntaha, went through the heavens onto the Kaaba Sharif, onto Mount Hira, then it was to Medina Sharif, Ali Karmallah with the Greens, Faiz Sharif, then also in Pakistan, then to herself, and then to myself, and the light was there, and it was just there for a while, and then it was just sort of a serene atmosphere, and afterwards I asked the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that they told me sort of afraid to ask questions, so I mentioned that I don't know how sort of all this is, I don't know how all this is happening, I'm sort of known, I don't even do what I'm supposed to be doing, never mind this. And they said that you think about these things, all these things will be shown and clear to you in the future. And I mentioned that I'm not even deserving of these things, and then in a sort of a stern way they mentioned that these things are not to be sort of worried about, just sort of carry on and keep moving forward. About your relating, even your writing, your vision, and they mentioned that you just focus on is excessive your details, not sort of needed. You can also write either you sort of write in sort of headings and sort of synopsize, and then from there you just sort of, if there's any action taken or there's no action, then from there. And they mentioned that your experiences, make sure you write your experiences down and you're related to affairs, and then the vision based away from there.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair for this beautiful exposition of your journey that you went through. Important thing to note here is that, as we heard our beloved teacher mention many times, is that the maqsad isn't the shaykh, the maqsad is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maqsad isn't the shaykh or the peer or the murshid, the maqsad is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what you're being shown is there comes a point, the job of the shaykh, the role of the shaykh, the spiritual guide, is to take the seeker and place him in the hands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Once that is done, that's it, their job is done. Their job is more or less fulfilled. That is it. Now is the role of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to take the person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his court and his presence and his love. That is the role of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So many people get stuck in this, that they think this is it. Maqsad is Asab, Maqsad is my teacher. And what happens is that many other tariqahs and many other spiritual paths where the teacher has maybe left this world, the seekers, they were genuine, they are true, they're not, and these are genuine awliyas and salihin as well, genuine true people and true salihin. What's happened is that unfortunately they have got stuck on this mentality of that the shaykh is the maqsad. So what's happened is that the old Pir Sahib or the Pir Sahib or the Shaykh has passed away, and it is natural, love is a natural thing. So because of the natural inclination and love, they find it difficult to then to go to somebody else living. They find it difficult to give them, and that is never the objective. The objective is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one should then say, okay, because when you will actually go to a real guide, and if the person passes away, really the person will also benefit from the shaykh, the previous shaykh. They'll actually benefit from their affairs as well through the current shaykh. So that's one thing. So one is that the Shaykh is not the maqsad, the Shaykh is not the objective. The objective is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His pleasure. What you're being shown there is there comes a time in the journey that the role of the Shaykh is now, when the student matures, is now to actually for the student now to get familiar and start getting guidance and be under the stewardship, you could say, guardianship of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what you're seeing is the transfer, you could say. Initially when you're seeing Hazrat Sahib and Rasulullah on either side, initially you would have seen Hazrat Sahib on either side or whatever, but now what's happening is that when they slowly familiarize the person, they want to make sure that the person is comfortable, and you're always used to seeing Hazrat Sahib, so they're there initially. After there comes a time when the Shaykh said, oh my student, now it's between you and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's it. I mean, you now go on your journey, I have done my bit. But doesn't mean that the Shaykh is now, no, they're always there, they'll always be there to help and guide you. Doesn't mean that they've let you know, now is for you to benefit. Yes, I remember once our beloved teacher related, I don't remember the Buzurg name, the friend of Allah who they mentioned, the name which beloved of Allah SWT it was, but they said is that this is the sincerity of a Shaykh, is that a real genuine teacher is that the student's been there with him for many years and he's been doing his amal and dhikr and mujahada, he's doing all that, and then what happened one day, he looked and analyzed, the Shaykh looked and analyzed, he said to the student, oh my student, I don't see, alhamdulillah, you've now, I see that you've purified and you've cleansed. I don't see any obstacles in your way, in your path apart from one. I don't see any other obstacles which is going to hinder you in your journey apart from one. And the student said, oh my master, what is that? What is the obstacle? Please tell me so that I may rectify. He said, that obstacle is me. The Shaykh was saying, mentioned that it's me. You now need to forget about it, you need to now focus on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You need to now focus, you need to now turn your attention. And I think a lot of the times on this situation, a lot of the seekers find it difficult. Initially they find it difficult because, and obviously when you have a guide, alhamdulillah, I believe a teacher, they help in assisting. They find it difficult because they are so familiar with the Shaykh, because it's like your father, your spiritual guide, your everything, the nourishing. Now all of a sudden they ask you now to be in with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Naturally a person should be jumping with joy and etc because of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But like any like when the parents take the child to nursery first time, when they take the child first time to nursery and school, the first day, the child is clinging on to the parents saying, please don't let go, please don't let go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Even though it's for their betterment and for them to progress and become better. They will learn, they'll build, and they get, please don't let go, no. And some of them will start crying, oh mommy, oh daddy, please come back, why have you done? And teacher saying, what's wrong with you, we're here, here's the carrot, here's the game. So, in other words, is that spiritually you're very familiar, and that's what happens is that the reluctance is there. But Hazrat Sahib is then in spiritual, what they're all showing you is that, listen, familiarize yourself, I'm still here, don't worry, but you need to now start familiarizing yourself and benefiting from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and from their faith and from their teaching. And the other elements are, inshallah, they'll manifest to you when and if it's appropriate. But now you should slowly, advice is getting is that what's happening is that the Shaykh is never really forgotten, and the Shaykh never leaves the student. Let's just put it this way: they've never let it. They're there, they're in the background, so you don't actually, you could say that you don't actually do any mistake or stuff, anything like that, or that it'll be very, very catastrophic. So they're always there to safeguard the student, but they're in the background, so you can't see. They're in the background. They're always, the affairs are still there, still guiding you. Even when you're with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even when you're actually there, they're still guiding and they're still helping, they're inspiring. So one can never forget and do this, but there comes a time when you have that this journey has to be taken, that from one hand to another hand, the Murshid actually gives that responsibility and says, Ya Rasulullah, I have done my bit, now it's your job to take them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I leave them to you. So really now, once you come in the presence of Prophet, you have to become extra serious, extra serious. So how this develops is that when the student is actually in the stewardship of the Shaykh, maybe the Shaykh is demanding 1 hour, 1.5 hours of you during the 24 hours. What I mean that is that the zikr they've asked you to do, the amaz they've asked you to do, maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, whatever. The Prophet ﷺ will also place and ask you also, they'll demand of you as well. Maybe they say, you need to actually dedicate time, do this and do this and this. They may say 4 or 5 hours of the 24 hours. So one has to now up the game, as they say. One has to now become more serious and become more proactive in terms of whatever instruction that the Prophet is taking it seriously, so they can benefit, and making sure that one actually doesn't actually get deprived of that as well. And it is truly a sign of the righteousness and the truthfulness of our beloved teacher, and the selflessness of our beloved teacher, is that the taking you, not just you, hundreds and hundreds of the students who have they've taken, sometime in one journey, sometime in 1 week, sometimes months, sometimes years, whatever it is, they take them from their hands and they place in the hands of the Prophet ﷺ, so they can actually continue their journey. Never have they been of those people who they want to project themselves and they enslave you in the piri muridi enslaveship. No, never they're like this. Rather, they want you to excel further and higher and have and experience the intimacy that they have experienced, the love that they have experienced, the following that they have actually experienced and followed. They want you to experience that and taste that and live that before death, because we haven't lived yet. Reality is that they say that there's a saying, I don't know, whoever has never loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this world has not lived. Experienced love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his own heart has not lived. So really they want us, myself, yourself, others, to really experience and have the intimacy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, intimacy with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that we can actually, so that when the passing goes away from this world to the next, there's not much difference. It's just a veil, it's just going, because your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah is so strong, really only gets further strengthened when a person leaves and goes in the barzakh. Gets even stronger. Now there's no hindrance of body there, it's just spirit. So now we can experience even further or more, inshallah. So this is the crucial. The advice they gave about writing is that sometimes the vision can be very long and lengthy, and there's a lot of descriptions. So what advice they're saying is that the main points, the main advice, if it's too lengthy description, light here, light there, and this scenes and so on, if it's too difficult, then also, so that you don't lose the main teachings, is that whatever nasihat that they give, whatever teaching they give, write that down at least. Come and date it, and make sure a date and when it was given, which amals you're doing, and then at least write that on the main crux of the teaching, so that is not lost. Because sometimes some brothers' vision may be 1 or 2 words. Another, you see, nobody should ever look down on your own vision of whatever guidance you get or whatever. This is one says, you can say that some people can get detailed. They look at this, for example, they look at the frame, and what happened, there'll be spiritual on the frame. They'll go to intricate details of that frame. It's this color, it's golden, it's shaped like this, and there's a corner, there's a groove, there's a there, it's got this picture on, it's got text on. And the other people, they're saying is that, oh, there's a frame there on the wall, and that's it. So they've seen the same thing. Maybe the other person focusing more, the person just seeing there's a frame there, and that's it. They've seen the same thing, but one is that depend on the level of the person and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from the person. That is the level you'll see. So one shouldn't belittle or make a mockery of their own selves, whatever they're saying, think, oh, I'm not going to relate, it's very embarrassing. I just saw Sayyidina Abdul Barahullah. Oh, no. Na'uzubillah min zalik. This is beshukri. It's a great thing to see a friend of Allah. A great thing to be in the mazar and presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A great thing to be even in Medina Sharif. A great thing to be actually with one's teacher. So never belittle and look down on one's vision and think, oh no, this is wrong, or this brother is relating such a big, marvelous. What is big and what is small? Who knows? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. So one shouldn't actually look down on these things, and one shouldn't feel upset, or one shouldn't feel as though intimidated. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, whatever the Mashayikh has apportioned you to, if it means for you to relate, then you relate, inshallah. So now the indication is being given spiritually now. The beloved teacher is now placing the response. There comes a time when they're placing the response to the Prophet ﷺ. Now you get yourself familiar with this, okay? And know this is also the initial parts. These are testing grounds as well. So don't fail on the testing ground, whatever you do. Is that when you go for what's the word that they use in English, where you go for temporary, what's the word they use? Under supervision or something, is it? Probation. There you go. That's what probation. It's probation, or you're in a probatory period. So you're in a probatory period at this moment in time. So don't mess it up, as they say. That make sure that you take it seriously. Person gets themselves ready. But what I'll also say is that if you do make a mistake, do tawbah, and sincerely do tawbah, but don't also get yourself too disheartened if errors occur. Okay, so don't get yourself too disheartened. It's a learning period, and inshallah you'll be shown slowly that whatever teaching, inshallah, that's what is being indicated to yourself, hopefully. And inshallah it will manifest and you'll understand later.
Last from Bolton. I just wanted to mention, so I usually with the green one, and even where my heart is, I was feeling like a pinching feeling, like something not very sharp, but I was constantly feeling like throughout the process. And then eventually I went a little deeper, and then sitting on the blessed started sitting. And then I think something we mentioned, and whilst I was sitting, then eventually we started the Allah Zikr, and I felt it was from Hazar, and then I joined in, and there was some guidance, and then passed it private.
Okay. So how will you know what the guidance and and whatever they gave? How are you going to relate it to your mentor?
I'm not related to the mentor.
So make sure you relate it to your mentor. If it's private, I appreciate the fact that it's a personal matter. But one should, if it's a case that in the general public you don't want to relate, that's fine. But make sure you do, and this is a general rule of thumb, that you do relate it to your own mentor, so that then they can decipher what it is, what is not, should you act upon it, should you not act upon it, etc., etc. So please do that, inshallah, with the boss. Anything else you want to do?
I don't think that it was very private, but I think that some of the things I don't really remember much.
Right.
Some of them work related, or certain things about the week.
Inshallah, it's still just related to your mentor, inshallah, and they'll give you feedback, inshallah. Okay, so that's fine. But whenever you do, like, it's important. So also note it down as well. Many group, mashallah, it's called the Ascension group, and unfortunately, I don't think many people are ascending. Because it means that they're not writing anything and they're not actually posting anything, and it's the usual people. So you should be sending your experiences there, and you should be actually posting experiences there as well, unless you're actually, unless you're actually sending privately to your mentor, and if they deem best, then it's a different matter, inshallah. Okay. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Zain, I'm from Bolton. During the dive process, on the past couple of occasions, I've struggled through this process. maybe due to a lack of concentration or focus, or maybe due to a lack of rest. But alhamdulillah, this time I felt like I went through the Lataif process. I felt like it went quite smooth, alhamdulillah. It was very clear for me, alhamdulillah. And when I took that golden breath, I saw myself in Zawiya car park. I couldn't see any cars. The car park was empty, but I saw a full moon, and I was looking at the full moon, and the thought came to my head. I started to smile, and the thought came to my head, and I asked myself the question that is this the same moon that the Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Blessed Prophet, used to look at? And then I entered the Zawiya, and when I saw myself taking off my shoes before entering the Zawiya, and I saw two flashes of light. One was coming up the stairs from the bottom floor, and one went straight past me on eye level. So I walked. I remember feeling starstruck at the time when I saw this. Then I walked into the main hall of the Zawiya, and I saw our blessed teacher. I walked up to Hazrat Sahab, I gave my salam, and Hazrat Sahab embraced me. An apology for not making the most of his teachings and not making the most of his efforts and not benefiting the way I should. Hazrat Sahab highlighted to me that the main thing is that I am here, that I have come. I asked Hazrat Sahab, Hazrat Sahab also expressed to me the importance of doing tawbah, and mentioned to me that those will be guided whose hearts truly want to be guided. I asked Hazrat Sahab, I told Hazrat Sahab that I saw two flashes of light as I walked in, and I asked Hazrat Sahab what was these flashes of light. Hazrat Sahab mentioned to me that these are the lights of the people who are in the constant remembrance of Allah. And then we transferred, and upon transferring I was looking down at the ground. I saw my feet walking on white marble, and then we walked, and then we came to the Kaaba Sharif, and I saw the brothers of this gathering sat in a semicircle in front of the Kaaba Sharif. I also saw a lot of other people there, and more people began to join the gathering, and it was as if when the zikr of Allah started, more and more people would join until there was a zikr of Allah, and then towards the end of the and then
Brother Zain, for your wonderful relation of your experience. Everything that they said in terms of when you met them, that a person feels remorse and regret, a lot of the times that's why we leave and we don't attend the gatherings. Look, they're spiritual and now also they're physically telling us, as one of our beloved teacher, is that this is one of the first thing that Shaitan will try and do is stop you from attending the gatherings. One thing they'll do is that busy you with dunya, busy with family, busy with friends, busy with other things. If all is that's it. So these Friday gatherings, the Thursday this gathering, the Friday gatherings, is that these are the main ones in which our beloved teacher has assigned them to bring them to the main gatherings. That was the objective. And what's happened is that we've taken as a substitute. Okay, leave the Thursday and leave the Friday. This will be sufficient. Well, the whole thing was in your own area, in your own locality, and keep them going. Alhamdulillah, that is good. So one of the things that we do, you'll find is that, as you can say, is that first thing that will happen is that a person stops the amal. One of the main thing they try to do is stop the person from coming to the gathering. So gathering with me, gathering spiritually, but this gathering, that's the main thing that you hear, and that is the important thing. And that is the encouragement a person needs. If a person wants to get back on track and wants to make it easier, sit in the gathering, and by the blessing and the barakah of that gathering, maybe something cool. Now imagine in the latter part of your vision, what did you see? The majlis of dhikr, and what do you see? Thousands, hundreds and hundreds of people. Well, Shayad Allah knows best, maybe the malaika in the form of people. Now you tell me, is that if you were to see hundreds and thousands of angels, would you not be able to benefit from that? We're not actually, the hadith is clear, hadith Mubarak is clear about the gathering of dhikr and the gatherings of nasiha is clear. We now shown to oneself as well. Now you've been shown what the effect of the gatherings are. So one should make sure that try to actively and proactively be present. So work, all the things. If you are, look, people work 9 to 5, whatever it is. Have a bit of, if a friend calls you, let's go for a kebab at 7 o'clock or 7:30, you don't have a problem. Let's go for a munch, let's go for a dinner or whatever, and you don't have a problem. But when somebody says, let's go to gathering, oh brother, I'm very tired, I've just come back from work, I'm really tired, I just want to just put my feet up and so on. I haven't ate yet, I need to eat and so on. So we find 101 excuses not to attend the gathering. So gatherings, then what they're saying, tawbah, then what they're saying is that sincere, all those are basically a person when they've been away, and if they've actually stopped doing that, reactivate the journey and to recreate the thirst and want to be on the journey. Like you're saying, that had that enthusiasm, motivation, these are all thirst builders. Doing tawbah and then remembering the purpose, maqsad, you'll then actually find it easier and it'll be beneficial, inshallah. Now, maintain it, come to the gatherings, start the journey again, see your mentor, start the inshallah Aziz, and be serious about it. And and those whom they've actually, these gatherings, because their light will be on that gathering. It doesn't matter who it is. So one shouldn't come and see who is there, who's leading that. Whether you feel it or don't feel it, see it or don't see it, inshallah you'll benefit. You'll and that is what we say, is that look, you've not seen yourself for months and months on end, etc. etc. Just in this, by this MURAQBA, by this thing, look, the beautiful thing, that spiritually look how they benefited you in such a way. That through this one nasiha, this 20 minutes or so, half an hour or so MURAQBA, that the boost and the energy that you've been given now is unimaginable. Now you can actually now go, and you've been re-energized and actually wanting to go now. So this is what we can do. If this is the benefit of actually coming and attending gatherings, attending majlis dhikr and nasiha, being in good company, being with the spiritual brothers, and so this is, and for sisters, spiritual sisters, is that this is the benefit of it. And that the light will then travel. And that light of two lights that you're saying, is that they said these are the light of the, it's true, or they're referring to these are the friends and the awliya Allah. Many people in the Zawiyah, they see many awliya Allah, they come and visit, we can't see mashayikh, our mashayikh, they come and visit, they may be praying, they may be listening, they may just come, it's like they use like a pit stop, maybe like just they're traversing different realms, different worlds, they see the Zawiyah, they come and bless it, and they move on. They come to meet others, or do it, greet others, and they leave. So different personality, different creation will come, and that's the unity of our beloved teacher, inshallah. Jazakallah jaza. Now, inshallah, if there's nothing else, then inshallah we shall use that as the last relation of experience. So may Allah bless you for your time and effort that you've been here. Apologies for any shortcomings from myself, and may Allah bless us all to be in the company of our beloved teacher, and to strive, make effort to please them, so we can please Rasulullah, so we can please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also remember myself in your prayers, inshallah Aziz. Please pray for myself, for my safeguarding of Iman, and that I die with Iman. Please do make dua for me as well. جزاكم الله جزاء. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله جزاء.
I know I'm weak.